So Benedict starts off saying, "Sir, sir, be patient. For my part, I am so attired in wonder, I know not what to say." And Beatrice is like, "On my soul, my cousin is belied." And Benedict adds on that, or asks rather, "Lady, were you her bedfellow last night?" And Beatrice says, "No, truly not, although until last night I have been this 12-month been her bedfellow." And Leonardo's like, "Confirmed. Confirmed. Oh, that is stronger maid which was before barred up with ribs of iron. Would the two princes lie, and Claudio lie, who loved her so that, speaking of her foulness, washed it with tears, hence from her, let her die." Even my blanket's angry at the darkness going on here. So this is when the friar chimes in and says, "Hear me a little, for I have only been silent so long and given way unto this course of fortune by noting of the lady. I have marked 1,000 blushing apparitions, to start it into her face 1,000 innocent shames. In angel whiteness beat away those blushes, and in her eye there hath appeared a fire to burn the errors that these princes hold against her maiden truth. Call me a fool, trust not my reading nor my observations, which with experimental seal doth warrant. The tenor of my book, trust not my age. My reverence calling nor divinity, if this sweet lady lie not guiltless here, under some biting error." And Leonardo's like, "Friar, it cannot be. Thou seest that all the grace that she hath left is, that she will not add to her damnation a sin of perjury. She not denies it. Why seekst thou then to cover with excuse that which appears improper nakedness?" And then the friar says, "Lady, what man is he that you are accused of?" And Hero's like, "They know that to do accuse me, I know none." Okay. "They know that do accuse me, I know none. If I know more of any man alive than that which maiden modesty doth warrant, let all my sins lack mercy. O my father." "Prove that any man with me conversed at hours unmet, or that I yesternight maintained the change of words with any creature, refuse me, hate me, torture me to death." And the friar says, there is some strange misprison in the princes." And Benedict is like, "The two of them have the very bent of honor, and if their wisdoms be misled in this, the practice of it lives in John the Bastard, whose spirits toil in frame of villainies." And Leonardo's like, "I know not if they speak but truth of her, these hands shall tear her." Okay, let me read that again because I got the punctuation wrong. "I know not. If they speak true of her, these hands shall tear her." If they wrong her honor, the proudest of them shall well hear of it. And time hath not yet so dried this blood of mine, nor age so eat up my invention, nor fortune made such havoc of my means, nor bad life reft me so much of friends. But they shall find awakened in such a kind both strength of limb and policy of mind, ability in means and choice of friends, to quit me of them thoroughly. Oh, I have a hair in my... Sorry, that was a sidebar. Then the friar chimes in saying, "Pause a while and let my counsel sway you in this case. Your daughter here, the princess left for dead, let her a while be secretly kept and publish it that she is dead indeed. Maintain a mourning osternation, and on your family's old monument hang mournful epitaphs, and do all rites that appear unto a burial." And Leonardo's like, "Well, what shall become of this? What will this do?" And the friar's like, "Mary this well carried shall on her behalf change slander to remorse. That is some good, but not for all that dream I on this strange course. But on this travail look for greater birth. She dying, as it must be so maintained, upon the instant she was accused, shall be lamented, pitied, and excused of every hearer, for it so falls out of that what we have, that we prize not to the worth." But being lacked and lost, why then we rack the value when we find the virtue that possession would not show us. Whilst it was ours, did punctuation wrong there. That virtue that possession would not show us whilst it was ours. So it will fare with Claudio when he shall hear she died upon his words. The idea of her life shall sweetly creep into his study of imagination, and every lovely organ of her life shall come apparelled in more precious habit, more moving, delicate, and full of life. Into the eye and prospect of his soul, than when she lived indeed. Then shall he mourn, if ever love had interest in his liver, and wish he had not so accused her. No, though he thought his accusation true, let this be so, and doubt not but the success." Page turning. Will fashion the event in better shape than I can lay it down in likelihood. But if all aim but this be levelled false, the supposition of the lady's death will quench the wonder of her infamy. And if it sort not well, you may conceal her, as it best befits her wounded reputation. in some reclusive and religious life, out of all eyes, tongues, minds, and injuries. And when the friar is done explaining the new plan to Leonardo, Benedict chimes in saying, "Signor Leonardo, let the friar advise you. And though you know my inwardness and love is very much onto the prince and Claudio, yet mine honor I will deal in this as secretly and justly as your soul should with your body." And Leonardo's like, "Being that I flow in grief, the smallest twine may lead me." And the friar's like, "'Tis well consented, presently away. For to strange sores, strangely they strain the cure. Come, lady, die to live. This wedding day is perhaps but prolonged. Have patience and endure." And everybody leaves at this point except for Benedict and Beatrice. And Benedict says, "Lady Beatrice, have you wept all this while?" And Beatrice is like, "Yea, and I will weep a while longer." And Benedict's like, "I do not desire that." And Beatrice is like, "You have no reason to. I do it freely." And Benedict says, "Surely I do believe your fair cousin is wronged." And Beatrice is like, "How much might the man deserve of me that would right her?" And Benedict says, "Is there any way to show such friendship?" And Beatrice is like, "A very even way, but no such friend." And Benedict asks, "May a man do it?" Beatrice says, "It is a man's office, but not yours." And Benedict says, I do love nothing in the world so well as you. Is not that strange?" And but Beatrice says, "As strange as the thing I know not. It were possible for me to say I love nothing so well as you, but believe me not, and yet I lie not. I confess nothing, nor I deny nothing. I am sorry for my cousin." And Benedict says, "By my sword, Beatrice, thou loves me." And Beatrice says, "Do not swear and eat it." "I will swear by it that you love me, and I will make him eat it that says I love you not. I love not you, sorry." And then Beatrice says, "Will you not eat your word?" And Benedict says, "With no sauce that can be deserved to it. I protest I love thee." And Beatrice says, "Why then, God forgive me." And Benedict's like, "What offense, sweet Beatrice?" And Beatrice says, "You have stayed me in a happy hour. I was about to protest I loved you." And Benedict's like, "And do it with all thy heart." And Beatrice is like, "I love you with so much of my heart that none is left to protest." Aw. And Benedict says, "Come bid me do anything for thee." And Beatrice is like, kill Claudio. And Benedict says, not for the wide world. And Beatrice is like, you kill me to deny it. Farewell. And Benedict's like, tarry, sweet Beatrice. And Beatrice is like, I am gone, though I am here. There is no love in you. Nay, I pray you let me go. And Beatrice is like, sorry, Benedict says, Beatrice. And then Beatrice says, in faith, I will go. And Benedict says, we'll be friends first. And Beatrice is like, you dare easier to be friends with me than fight with mine enemy. Page turn. Benedict is like, is Claudio thine enemy? And Beatrice says, is a not approved in the height a villain that hath slandered, scorned, dishonored my kinswoman? Oh, that I were a man, what bear her in hand until they come to take hands, and then with public accusation, uncovered slander, unmitigated rancor. Oh God, that I were a man, I would eat his heart in the marketplace. And Benedict says, hear me, Beatrice. And Beatrice is like, talk with a man out at a window, a proper saying. Nay, but Beatrice, Benedict says. And then Beatrice just continues on going, sweet hero is wronged, she is slandered, she is undone. Cancel culture back then was no joke. I mean, it's not a joke today either, but, you know. And Benedict tries to say Beatrice again, and Beatrice just keeps going and says, princes and counties. Surely a princely testimony, a goodly Count Comfit, a sweet gallant surely. Oh, that I were a man for his sake, or that I had any friend would be a man for my sake. But manhood is melted into curtsies, valor into compliment, and men are only turned into tongue and trim ones too. He is now as valiant as Hercules, that only tells a lie and swears it. I cannot be a man with wishing, therefore I will die a woman with grieving. And Benedict says, tarry, good Beatrice, by this hand I love thee. And Beatrice is like, use it for my love some other way than swearing by it. And Benedict says, think you in your soul the Count Claudio hath wronged hero. And Beatrice is like, yea, as sure as I have thought or a soul. And Benedict is like, enough. I am engaged. I will challenge him. I will kiss your hand, and so leave you. By this hand Claudio shall render me a dear account. As you hear me think so of me, go comfort your cousin. I must say she is dead. And so farewell. And now we are into Act 4, Scene 2. And some much needed comic relief. Starts off with Dogberry. Actually, you know what? I'm going to hold off on starting that scene just because that's all that's left. But, I mean, this scene was pretty intense. I'm sure you guys already know that. And comic relief is coming, don't worry. But yeah. At least it's not as much of a cliffhanger as the last row. And I'm sure anybody who's familiar with Shakespeare knows that comedies end happily, so even though we're in a mess at the moment, it works out. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next row.